right, boys and girls, today we're going to do some drawing in our portrait drawing sketchbook. I made you this sketchbook so that we could learn about the proportions of the face and how to draw a portrait. There are some guidelines to follow that are very, very helpful. Also in this book, I have included some information that you can look at and read about. But this front cover gives you so much information. Here it shows you step 1. You can start with a circle, but our face is definitely not a circle. You're going to draw this very lightly, and then you can add the chin. Then there is a line of symmetry down the middle of your face. If you're doing a front view portrait where the person is looking straight at you, then your eyes are actually in the middle of your head. The biggest mistake that younger boys and girls make is that they draw their eyes too far up on the head, and then you have a whole bunch of room between. But your eyes are in the middle of your head. A fun little thing to do is to have your parents help you measure where your eyes are in your head, and you'll probably notice that your head is about 8 inches, between 7 and 8 inches, and your eyes are about right in the middle. They're not going to be exact, but about. And your parents' head is probably about the same. Your younger siblings, babies, are probably going to be a little different because their head is still growing. So here you can see then halfway from the middle of your head to your chin is your nose. Then halfway between that new space is your mouth. And then you have your chin and all the details that you can do. But your ears are between your eyes and your nose. All right? So if you look up how to draw, you might get a little different variation, but it's about all the same. So here you can see that same information. Here's your eyes are an eye width apart, how to draw an eye. It gives you lots of information here that I copied for you. And as well, same as you're moving through the nose. Here they show you can draw the nose with 3 circles, but then you're going to end up erasing some of those circles. So I'll show you a trick on how to draw the nose. Then you get into value shading, which we've talked a little bit about in class. And if you have a smudging tool at home, you can use that, or you can simply use your finger. And you're going to press harder and softer for the different values. You can even do lines, the hair, lines, or wavy lines to look like curly hair. So we'll get into all of that as we practice in our sketchbook. This is a page I included if you like portrait drawing, some different mouths and faces. We're going to work with just a serious straight mouth like here to start. But if you like portrait drawing, you can definitely take it another step and do some different facial expressions. So your first page here, boys and girls, we're going to work on together. And it already has the guidelines on for you. So here's our line of symmetry. And here is our line halfway across the middle. This is for the eyes, and then halfway from here to here is the nose, and then halfway from the nose to the chin is the mouth, and then the ears are in between here, and then this is your line of symmetry. All right, now we're ready to get started. We're going to start with the eyes because, as you can see, the eyes are pretty much the focus of, or the start of the whole head. So eyes in the middle, then we're going to work our way down, and then we'll talk a little bit about some hair. So you don't want your eyes to be too small, but you don't want them to be too big. So here you can see up in this little diagram, it shows that you divide the space into 5 equal sections. Well, why 5? Because you only have 2 eyes. Well, your eyes are an eye width apart, and you can even measure on your own eyes that if you measure your eye from corner to corner and then put it between your two eyes, you'll see that it is about the same distance. So what I like to do is I like to just put a little line here, okay, away from the edge of the head, and the same one over here. Okay, I'm going to try to press harder, boys and girls, but I really do press really light because I say draw light until you get it right, because you can always go back and make it darker. But if you make a mistake, you can't make it disappear. So now here's the trick. We want to divide this space from here to here into 3 equal parts. So we can definitely take a ruler and measure if you want to do that, if you're really good at measuring, or you can just take a really good guess. All right, but see, if you measure, it's not going to be exactly even. So actually mine's pretty good here. I have 3.5, but now I have to use my math and take 3.5 and divide it by 3, and that's not really that equal. So I'm going to take a really good guess. I know that it's a little tiny bit more than an inch. So if I say an inch is here, I'm going to guess right about here and then right about here. So now let's take a guess here. Is this the same as this and same as this? I'm going to go a little bit further and then I'll feel a little better about that. So see why I press lightly? Now I'm going to start drawing my eyes, and the way I'm going to draw my eye is I'm going to draw a line here, a curved line, a slight curve, and a slight curve here, same one. Then I'm going to draw a slight curve here underneath. It's like a football shape, right? Now on here I can't erase this line, but eventually I would. So I'm going to now draw inside. So that's the eye shape. Now inside the eye, I'm going to draw another curved line. That's the eyelid. Then inside that new space I just created, I'm going to draw my circle, which is the iris. Now this is a little distracting here, so I'm going to move up here, boys and girls, and show you how this eye is going to look. So I'm going to curve and curve. Then I'm going to draw another curved line. There's the eyelid. All right. Then I'm going to draw, this is a circle. This is the iris, the colored part of your eye. But it's going to come down and it's going to go like under there, but I'm not going to draw the whole thing, and here. Then inside there, I'm going to draw another circle. That's the pupil, and that's going to get colored in dark. That's the black part of your eye, but I like to leave a little tiny white spot in there. All right, so that's how you draw the eye. Now you're going to draw eyelashes. We all have eyelashes, boys included, and you're going to draw the eyelashes on this line, because this is the edge of your eyelid. This top line is your crease in your eye when your eye opens, when your eyelid opens and closes. So if you want to draw eyelashes, you're going to draw them here, whether you want to draw them long or short. So you're going to draw them there. I like to kind of curve them out. It makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional. You can also draw some little ones here if you would like. All right, those might disappear as I start to add some value shading later. All right, so there is the eye. All right, right above the eye, you're going to do your eyebrow, and your eyebrow is not just a curved line. Okay, please don't do that. Your eyebrow is not just a curved line. Your eyebrow is lots of little hairs. So we're going to draw lots of little lines, and like my eyelids, I like to curve them out, and here I like to curve them out towards the ears, which we'll get to in a little bit. All right, so lots of little lines. You could do that to both sides. You could just practice this one. We could just practice right there. All right, now we're going to do the ears. And for your ears, you can see up in the diagram here, they're going to go between your eye and down to the nose line, approximately. Now, you look at your ears, you're going to curve up do not do this, boys and girls. It's not a half circle. You're not a monkey, okay? We're going to erase that. I want you to just do a little slight curve, and you can kind of come in, and you may want to just bump out a little bit and then bring it back. Now there's a difference in your ears. Talk about recessive and dominant traits that you learned in science class. Some people have attached earlobes and some people have detached earlobes. Take a look at yours. You may have here I made it attached, so it kind of goes right into the head. But if you have detached earlobes, it kind of curves up like that. Do you see the difference? So take a look at the people in your family and see, do you all have attached earlobes or detached? Or maybe there's just one who has detached. It's kind of like right-handed and left-handed. All right, so there's how you do the ears. We'll get to the ears. You can add another little curve line here and here, but we'll add that more later when we do some value shading. All right, now your nose. Your nose is actually as wide as your eyes are apart. So if we bring a line coming down like this, draw this line lightly because you're going to want to erase that because you don't want your nose, right? You don't want those lines on your face. And if you look back at the nose drawing here, see how that looks? We got an eye between there. We got the three. That's the tip of your nose. Here's your nostrils coming out, okay? But it's going to look like this. So why draw all of that when we can just draw that? I'll show you how to do that. If we look back at the front, they did really simple nose. They just did a curved line, all right? So let's do a little bit more than that. So at the tip of the nose, we're going to draw a curved line. So that would be that main circle that they did. That's the tip of your nose. Then you have the nostril, which is going to come out. So that's the other curve, and curves around here. That's the other circle. So there's your nose. All right, and we're going to erase these lines here. All right, there we go. Now, there is another way to draw the nose. This is simple. Well, second simple. The first simple was they just drew that curved line. I'll show you a couple other ways to draw. So very simple, curved line. Then there's this curve. It's like a curve in parentheses, right? Or we can take it a little step further, make it look a little bit more realistic. I'm going to do my curve, but then I'm going to put a little hook at the end of the curve. And so that's where the nostril is. And then I'm going to put those parentheses around. Okay? So easy, medium, more difficult. All right? Now we're going to move down to the mouth. Oop, I think I want to put this here. It's kind of looking a little creepy. Okay? All right. So we have done the eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, the ears, and now we're going to move on to the mouth. And your mouth, it kind of lines up with about the center of your eye, or I would say your iris. So where you drew that circle, you're going to bring that line down, and that's going to be the corner of your mouth. Because you don't want to draw too small of a mouth, you don't want to draw too big of a mouth, you want it to be in the correct proportions for the face. All right, that's what we're learning here. We're using some guidelines to help us. So here I have about the size of my mouth. So I want the corners of my mouth to be here. This line is for the bottom lip. So we're going to draw lips. We're going to draw a curved line here. So starting in the middle, knowing that my face is symmetrical, I can start here and I can gently come up. See that it's very, very light. Very gently draw up. Then do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to draw a line going across like that. That is the bottom lip. Now right here I'm going to start just a little bit up, and I'm going to bump up a little bit and then gently curve down like a little hill. Then do the exact same thing on the other side, and there is the lips. Now, boys and girls, I have done all the facial features. I could add a few more details, like a line here for the shirt. Notice that the neck here, notice the neck is not too wide. It's not too narrow. It kind of comes from between. Don't go any lower than the mouth line here. But you can come here, depending on how wide your person's neck is. All right? The last and final thing is hair. You're not going to just start coloring hair in here. If you are drawing a boy or a man, probably have shorter hair, but not necessarily. But you're not going to just draw it right here. Your hairline is actually halfway from here to here. So halfway is about right here. So that's where your hair is going to start. So if you have bangs, yes, they're going to come further, but this is where your hairline starts. So if you pull your hair back, you can see that that's where your hair starts to grow, and it's going to be a variation between here. So if I'm drawing a person with shorter hair, a short hairstyle, I'm going to draw from here, and I'm going to draw little lines, short, little lines, lots of little lines, knowing I'm just, notice that I'm just going in one direction. Yes, I said it, one direction. You are not going to go back and forth like coloring. So I don't want you to go like this. Your hair doesn't grow out and then come back in and out and back in. It starts at your head and grows out, and then you cut it to how you want it. So I'm drawing this person's hair, little short. You go down to the ears. No matter what kind of hairstyle they have, unless it's a mohawk, you're going to go to the ears. All right, so see, this is a really short hairstyle, and I would continue to do this all the way in this whole area here. So understand, it's lots and lots of little lines. They can cross each other. So on this half of the head, you can see I am doing really short hairstyle. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do you do a longer hairstyle? Well, I will show you that. So let's say I fill that all in. Okay, short hairstyle. Long hairstyle, you're just going to, no, this is the part is in the middle. Longer hairstyle, they're just going to be longer lines. Okay, and some may be shorter. Some you might not even, if you're drawing a person, you may not even have to draw ears because their hair will cover it. Okay, now what if the person has bangs? Well, then you're going to come here and you're going to make bangs that go down to their eyes. But notice that I'm still just drawing in one direction. I'm not going back and forth. All right, what if the person has wavy hair? Well, then add some wavy lines. For this next part, I'm going to show you how to draw your guidelines by yourself without having them already on, like in the previous video, and then you can practice drawing the facial features again before you do your final copy. So how I like to start the head is I like to start with a nice curve like a rainbow, like to make a circle, but you're not going to make a circle. You can make that circle, but very lightly, but then you're going to actually extend it for an oval, but it's going to get a little bit more narrow at the bottom here for the chin. Okay, then you're going to, if you did it that way, you can erase this line, and then you're going to make your guidelines. Your first guideline is going to be a straight line down the middle. So I like to look here, kind of guesstimate where the middle is, and then use a straight edge. It could be a straight edge of a paper or a ruler, and you're going to make that line. Make it very lightly because you're going to have to erase. And once you're done, make sure that it is even. Then you're going to estimate the middle from here to here, and it's a little tricky. You may want to measure. I can see I have about, it's less than 6, but I'm going to move this up. Now it's about 6, so my middle is right about here. So I was a little off. Now I'm going to make that line, that's for the eyes, remember. Eyes. This is your line of symmetry. And now halfway from here to here, the bottom, about right there, you're going to make a line that is for the nose. And then halfway from here to here, that is for the mouth, the bottom of the mouth. That is not the middle line of your mouth. You're going to have too much space there. Then you can also do another guideline from here to here, the top half, and that is going to be for hair. But you don't necessarily have to do that. I like to do it so I know where my hairline is. Okay, so there's our guidelines, and now you can start drawing like we did on the other page. I would come in a little bit from the ears, and your ears, remember, come between the eye line and the nose line. And from your eyes, then you start and you measure. And I will continue with this drawing, and then I'll show you how to do some value shading. All right, now for some tricks on adding value shading to your drawing to make it look more realistic. You would finish adding hair, okay? You would keep adding all this hair up here. But instead of you watching me do that, I'm going to show you some tricks on the value shading part. So in the ears, let's start with the ears. You want to add a little bit here, and then I would add a little bit darker here where it kind of curves in and goes into your ear. Just give it a little bit darker there, and you can give it a little smudge with your finger. All right, on the eye, you're going to definitely shade this part in darker. That's your pupil. I would leave a little tiny white spot. That's like the lights shining in the eye, and then you color in this. If you have brown eyes, this is going to be a darker gray. If you have blue eyes, it's going to be a lighter gray, and green probably more like a medium. But I like to color it going around, because if you ever look at someone's eye that has a lighter color eye, you can kind of see this kind of starburst look. So I like to go all the way around and then fill it in all the way to the line there. So there's the colored part of the eye. All right, this part is going to stay white, and this part is going to stay white. Now I'm going to add some, here's where my eyelashes are going to be, and my eyebrows right above, lots of little lines, and then I can add just a tiny bit of shading here. And then you might want to add some lines here. Not that your person is old and has wrinkles, but you're going to have creases in the corner of your eyes for where your eye opens and closes. And then I just like to add a little smudge there. Okay, more of the shadow is going to come when you go to do your nose. So it's going to kind of curve up, and here's going to be very, very lightly, and then under the eye, and then give it a little smudge there. Okay, then around the nostril, in the nostril, that's going to be darker, and at the tip. And I'm just doing half of the head, and you can work on the rest there. Then for the lips, your lips are a different color than your skin, so you're definitely going to want to shade these in, and you're going to want to go darker by the crease, and then you're going to go lighter to a medium, and you can even color them in this way. If you look, you kind of see your skin on your lips there, so you're definitely going to want to shade those in. Okay, you can even add a little bit of a shadow here under the nose like that. Over here on the side, you're going to want to show some dimension here, so you're going to want to go a little bit here, and then bring this in very, very lightly, and give it a smudge here for the shadow of the chin. Then we're going to work our way down here onto the neck where your chin is going to cast a shadow. So I would go here, darker here, and then get lighter. And under the chin is going to be a little darker. Notice I'm just doing half of the head so that you can see the difference and how this is going to look. It makes it look more three-dimensional, more realistic. Give it a little smudge there. And then you can add, if the person's wearing a colored shirt, you clearly can color that in whatever color. A darker color is going to be a darker gray. A lighter color is going to be a lighter gray. If it's a white shirt, just add some shadows. Okay, so here's my collar, and then I can shade this in here. Or if you wanted to do a striped shirt, you could do that. A shirt with some design. So anyways, so there are how you would do some shading on your pencil portrait. So give it a try, see what you can do. And then you can make your own full pencil portrait, and please share it with me on Art Sonia or send me a picture. Have fun, boys and girls!